Hey everyone, my name is Blakely, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a single crochet stitch. If you watch step 1 in my beginner playlist, you will know how to make a slip knot and foundation chain. And if you're anything like me, you're just ready to get started and make something already. So let's learn how to make a single crochet stitch and create a scarf together. So here's my scarf, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. Here's the pattern I'm going to be following. I printed it off so that you can follow along and get familiar with the abbreviations of patterns. Okay, so all you'll need to begin is some yarn. I'm using Paintbox's Simply Chunky yarn, and it suggests using a 6mm crochet hook. So I have my 6mm crochet hook, also called a J hook. Next, you'll need some scissors, a yarn needle, and a tape measure. Okay, let's start with the first step, chain 21. So you know how to make a slip knot. Cross over. Pull the working yarn a little bit to tighten it, not too tight. All right, so there's your slip knot. Next, we're going to chain 21. Okay, there's my chain 21. And I'm just checking it to make sure that it's not twisted. Now let me show you how to make a single crochet stitch into this chain. All right, right now we're doing row 1. We're going to single crochet in second chain from hook and in each stitch across. We should be able to count 20 stitches. So there's the first chain and there's the second. We're going to skip that first one, looks like a V. Skip the first V and you're going to single crochet into the second V. We're just going to go into that top loop, the second chain from your hook. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, rotate your hook down, and pull through both loops on your hook. That's your first single crochet stitch. Now we're going to do the same thing into each stitch across. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, rotate your hook down, and pull through both loops on your hook. And we're just going to keep going into each stitch. Yarn over, pull through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Insert your hook, yarn over. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. If you're having trouble seeing where to insert your hook on the chain, I'm going to stretch it out again. It's going to be right under that top loop. Right there. Keep making sure your chain isn't getting twisted. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch, Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Now let's just do it together slowly until we get to our last chain. Keep making sure you're chain it and twisted. The hardest part is just getting started. The first couple of rows, they're going to feel a little loose and you won't have as much to hold on to, but that's okay. It gets better, I promise. We're almost to the end of our row. There's our very last stitch right there. It's right before that slip knot. Okay, so now we've just completed row 1 of our scarf. Now for row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. So we're going to chain 1, just like that. And now we're going to turn our work. And you always turn your work towards you like you're turning a page in a book. That's always what helped me remember. All right, now we're going to single crochet in every stitch across, but we're going to skip the chain 1 that we just did. So you can see the chain 1 right here. We're going to skip that chain 1 and go into the first stitch. It's right there. Right there. And when we go into it, it'll be under these top 2 loops. So if you look at the top of your work, they look like little V's. And you're going to be going underneath those V's. Just like that. Let's do that again. We're going to skip our chain 1 and we're going to insert our hook in the first stitch under those 2 V's. Yarn over, pull through, and you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. You're going to insert your hook in the next stitch right there under that V, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay, let's do a few more together. If you're having trouble seeing your stitches where you're supposed to be going into, you can kind of see here, there's these little bumps. You're going to go in between each bump. So we just went into this one, now we're going to go into this one. Right there. Always making sure we go under the V. Insert your hook. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook in the next stitch. Pull through. Now you have 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Sometimes I hold the end under my pinky just to keep it out of the way. It might want to curl up at the beginning, that's okay. We're almost to the end. And before I finish this last stitch, I want to show you more specifically where that stitch is. Because this is really important to keep your lines straight, your sides straight. You always want to make sure you get in the correct stitch at the end of your row. So you're going to just continue on looking for the V. So look for that V. And it wants to hide from you sometimes on this last one, but you can see it right here. The back one kind of falls behind a little bit. So you're going to insert your hook right after that bump and go under that V. Super important. So you're going to go over that last bump and insert your hook under that last V. Okay. All right, we just completed row 2. Now we're going to repeat row 2 until your desired length. So you just keep repeating row 2 until you get it to the length that you want. My scarf's about 75 inches long. So you don't even have to worry about counting rows or anything on this project. You just strictly go by the length you want your scarf. Again, we're going to start our next row. So we're going to chain 1. And we're going to turn our work towards us like we're turning the page of a book. We're going to skip that first chain next to our hook, and we're going to insert our hook in the first stitch on this row. last stitch for the row. Now we're just going to chain 1, turn your work towards you, and crochet in the first stitch on the row, skipping that chain 1. Used to work in recreation, and I would teach students all kinds of fun stuff, but we mainly loved doing crochet because we could take it on all of our adventures and stuff. Like if we went skiing or camping, we would just take our yarn and learn together. And I would always teach them to make a scarf first because it was so gratifying learning a few new tricks and then already having something to wear. It was the cutest thing ever. Again, that last stitch might be a little tricky. But if you turn it up straight, you can see that little V, the last V that you need to go into. So I'm just going to go under that V. Just stop and take a look for a second. Yeah, it's looking good. I think if you just keep repeating row 2 just like that, and then occasionally, if you lost count, you can always measure. Mine's about 6.5 inches wide, and then mine measures 75 inches long. And if your foundation row gets too tight, remember you can size up your crochet hook for your foundation chain. Since I'm using a J, you could always use a K for your foundation chain, and then on row 1, switch back to your J. And if you are wanting to count rows, you can see here, there's the foundation chain, there's row 1, all those little bumps, and then the row above it is row 2, and then you can see another row with those little bumps, it's row 3, and there's row 4, so we've completed 4 rows already. So let's continue on a little bit more. Chain 1, turn your work towards you like a book, skip that chain you just did, insert your hook in the first stitch on the row, and do single crochets all across. Alright, so there's the start of your scarf. And you might be wondering, what if I'm making my scarf and need to add more yarn? So to add yarn, all you're going to do, I'll use this as my example. It's like a little miniature scarf. Alright, so say for instance you run out of yarn. There's several ways to do it, so I'm going to show you 2. There's the tail end, the end of your yarn, and here's your new yarn. This will be your new working yarn. Okay, so the most common way to add yarn, with this loop on your hook, you're going to insert your hook in the next stitch just like you would a single crochet stitch. I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, just like I would if I was about to finish a single crochet. So now that I have 2 loops on my hook, I'm going to drop that tail, and I'm going to grab the new yarn, just kind of wrap it around like that, and then hold it like that, kind of, or just whatever feels comfortable. And you're going to grab that loop and pull it through like you would a single crochet stitch. Now you're going to drop both tails and just pull them behind here out of the way. So there you can see you've got both tails, the old and new yarn. Now you just continue on making single crochets with your new working yarn. I'll do a couple more and then I'll show you the back. So there's the back. It just connects so nice. Okay, and then when you're done with your project, you'll just weave these in. So that's one way. If you're not quite ready for that yet, what I did when I was starting out, and it still works totally fine, I would literally just I'd leave about 5 or 6 inches on both ends, and then just make a knot. Pull it tight. And then I'll just crochet and crochet that knot into it. I'll show you. We're just going to single crochet. Here comes the knot. So I'm going to drop those, both of the tails. I'm just going to drop those. You can see it behind. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. It's okay if the knot goes through too, because that'll kind of hide it. Make sure the tail's behind there, and then just continue on. And you can see that the knot just gets hidden behind the other stitches, so that's fine. And then you will just weave in these ends whenever you're done. So whichever is easier, just to get you started. I just wanted to make sure I showed you that. So I'll let you continue on crocheting row 2 over and over again until you get your scarf to the length that you want. Here's mine finished. You can see it's pretty long. I did 75 inches. And for the very last couple of steps is a fasten off and weave in our ends. So I just used this stitch marker to hold my spot so it wouldn't come unraveled. And I'm just going to insert my hook. There's my very last stitch on my last row. I'm going to insert my hook. And this is called a fasten off. I'm going to yarn over, pull through the loop on my hook, and pull the yarn all the way out and give it a little tug. That will lock it in place. And now you've just completed your scarf. The only thing left to do is to weave in the end. So I'm going to get my yarn needle. And I'm just going to create little zigzags. I'm going to go back and forth sewing it in so that you can't even see it. So I'll maybe just go, there's no rhyme or reason, it's just kind of zigzagging it. Don't pull too tight. Now let's go up maybe a bit. Let's go back down. more times. That should be good. Just don't pull it too tight. Now we're just going to snip it. It's close but not cutting anything. Okay, and there you have your single crochet scarf. All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, or if you happen to make a single crochet scarf, please, please, please tag me. I'd love to see it. All right, y'all, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.